This is the Supine X-Band Baby Drill. This is a breathing and mobility drill. It's a positional drill. It's really important that you set yourself up in the position that we're looking for, a nice stack position, and we're going to do our best to diaphragmatically breathe to create a lot of expansion in your system to kind of release those tight muscles, especially in the upper clavicle, upper rib cage right here. Get the shoulders and the traps to relax, while also doing the same thing to those muscles around the back of your pelvis, your glutes, your posterior pelvic floor, okay? You're gonna find a box or a couch. I like to do this at on my couch at home, where you can put your lower legs up and let them completely relax. And you wanna grab a band that is light. Let's start with very, very light. You don't want to feel like it's so light that your arms just kind of fall where you want them to go. We want to feel like there's a little bit of resistance, especially around our shoulders, the backs of our shoulders. So I would start with like the lowest resistance. If you've got a bunch of loop bands like this, the lowest one's probably the best place to start. You're going to find that surface right here, box or couch, and you're going to get your legs all the way up there to the point where they can kind of just completely relax and fall out nice and easy. I'm heavy on my PSIS right now, so the back of my pelvis is on the ground. I can feel those pressure points, and that means I'm relatively neutral in my hips. With my legs relaxed, my glutes should be off, my hamstring should be off, everything is chill. You're going to take that band and you're going to put it around the backs of your legs just like this, and this is the starting point for this drill. You are then going to cross the band, and this creates that X-band in the name, okay? And this is the tricky part, okay? You're going to put your hands inside the band. All right, I'm going to take my time on this, explaining this, because it is very difficult to figure out. And once you do, you'll understand why we're doing it this way. So 4 fingers are through both sides and my palms are facing out. See, the band goes through the space between my thumb and my index finger. That is because once you start in this position and you find the setup, so I've got relaxed legs, I've got PSIS on the ground, and I'm going to try to get kind of tall in my spine and untuck my chin. Okay, so I feel the edges of my shoulder blades, the tips of my shoulder blades are touching the ground right now, and I'm nice and tall. I'm then going to find a little bit of tension on the band, and I'm going to rotate my palms from outside to inside. Notice how the thumb catches the band and creates a little bit of torque in the shoulders from this rotation. We want to make sure that the elbows aren't bent here. We don't want a lot of that rotation in the wrist and the forearm. We want everything to be happening at the shoulder joint. So facing out, thumb catch. Now thumbs are facing up, and I'm not all the way open as far as I can go where my thumbs are facing out. I want my palms kind of facing each other, and maybe even open up the thumbs a little bit so that your thumb line is in line with the X of the band. You'll see what I'm talking about, going from here where they're parallel to kind of now they're in the shape of the X, okay? I'm going to find some good resistance between the two. Now I can feel the backs of my shoulders working, but for the most part, my shoulders are relaxed. I've got the middle of my rib cage between my shoulder blades resting in the ground, lifted my sternum up a little bit so I'm not tucking my chin and kind of rounded down like this. We don't want to be shrugged and tucked. We want to be nice and relaxed here. I'm not forcing this position, but I'm very relaxed here. I'm going to let go of every muscle in my body aside from the ones that are holding this band in position in my arms. And now I'm going to diaphragmatically breathe. The goal here is soft, slow, and silent inhales and a long, slow exhale that is a little bit of a resisted exhale by opening your mouth and sighing. So like you're fogging a mirror. You'll hear me exhale, but you will not hear me inhale. Watch the pattern, watch my rib cage expand, and then watch how the exhale allows my belly button and my lower deep abs to sink in. So here we go. Inhale. Full rib cage, not forcing it. Still feel the shoulder blades. Long, slow exhale while keeping the airflow in the ribs the whole time. So fill the ribs, hold that fill, and then exhale slowly. The very last thing to exhale and finish that exhale is the rib cage. That's why we hold the fill the whole time. Follow it with an inhale. You don't have to force it. About 80% inhale, long, slow exhale. Carry the exhale all the way out. Pause. Feel the deep abs. Hold on to the deep abs. Inhale again. Long, slow exhale. The goal of this drill is to open up the rib cage and expand the rib cage without turning on a bunch of other muscles in the system. So a couple things we covered in this drill was that the position is the most important thing. Find your spot and try not to force air in, or you're gonna feel other muscles starting to squeeze. Your traps, your six-pack abs, your glutes, we're trying to keep those all relaxed. You're gonna nail that position, feet relaxed, PSIS, middle of the rib cage, tips of the shoulder blades, ready to rock, okay? Then you are going to inhale as slowly and as softly as possible in through your nose, and you're going to expand your rib cage in 360 degrees as much as possible. Then you're going to hold that inhale and keep that fill, and you're going to exhale from the bottom up. So your exhale starts at the pelvic floor. You can feel that pelvic floor moving, and then the deep abs sink in, and then at the very end, the ribs start to sink. That will help you link up into your deep abs. Those obliques and that transverse abdominis that we talk about in our breathing and our bracing videos, that's going to kind of come in like a corset. It's not going to be like a crunch or a squeeze. It's going to be a nice, soft, tense, like weight belt that's kind of coming around your midsection, 1 or 2 out of 10. If you pause at the end of that exhale and kind of think about that tension without squeezing it too hard, you will see that your next inhale will actually expand your rib cage more because your belly's not relaxed and all the airflow is not coming through here, okay? This is a Supine X-Band Baby light band. You probably will never work up to medium because after 5 breaths, my rotator cuff and some of those positional shoulder muscles were really kind of quaking and shaking. You probably want to stay at that light band. That's how it's done, guys. Very nice, I like.